Many people think of literacy simply as the ability to read and write, but in actuality, it means much more. Worldwide, nearly 800 million adults are illiterate in their native language, and 2/3 of them are women. In the United States, an estimated 30 million people over the age of 16 don't read well enough to fill out a job application. Less than 10% of those who need literacy help actually receive it. That number stands true in Pierce County, where more than 50,000 people are in need of literacy help, and we are only able to provide services to approximately 10% of them. American businesses lose more than $60 billion in productivity each year due to employees' lack of basic skills. A high school dropout costs society, on average, $260,000 in lost earnings, taxes, and productivity. Illiteracy is highly correlated with crime. More than 60% of state and federal prison inmates can barely read or write. Without basic reading, writing, math, and computer skills, millions of Americans are struggling to find jobs, stay healthy, and support their families.
Well, that's a sad moment. Now these people can't get jobs because they don't have their high school diploma. They have kids, they have grandkids, they're still in their prime, in their 40s and their 50s.
I dropped out, I started working, and worked for most of my adult life.
Actually, I was born here in Tacoma, Washington. When I was 3, my parents moved to Mexico, and I never came back until I was 16. And when I got here, I spoke no English.
Elementary school, I started having a lot of mental health issues, a lot of attention deficit.
Going to elementary, through my primary and secondary educational years, I was what they call classified as a learning disability. And special education doesn't teach you anything, not that much. And when I went into the world, I was so unprepared and so unready for the world, so I had to struggle.
I came from a pretty broken home, and at a very young age of 14, I was out of my home, and education wasn't important to me. I was more focused on trying to survive, and I didn't have my parents or any positive influences in my life.
Nobody from my family has earned a degree or finished training for a career. I came here in 2007, and I did not even graduate from high school in my country. When I got here, I had a lot of unpleasant experiences. Things like not knowing how to apply for a job or being able to get my license because of the lack of writing and reading skills.
My education is from Mexico. I'm Mexican, and I have a master's degree in human resources and a certificate in education too. In fact, I was a teacher for 15 years in my country.
Today I have 11 years and 3 months and 4 days clean and sober. And I decided that I needed to go back to school.
Literacy skills can impact nearly every aspect of adult life. Literate members of the community are more likely to be employed full-time, receive a higher income, vote, volunteer, and access information about current local and national events.
After I sustained an injury on my previous job, I knew I had to get my diploma.
So I came up to Pierce College, and like I said, when that was looking at that brochure, and I said, okay, I said, let me do this.
I did get my GED finally in September of 2011, and it took me a while because I didn't know how to read.
The saddest casualties of illiteracy are children affected by intergenerational illiteracy. Children of disadvantaged parents begin school behind their peers, and parents with minimal reading skills often cannot provide the kind of support their children need to do well in school. A single year of parental education has been shown to have a greater impact on the likelihood of a son or daughter attending a college than $50,000 in parental income.
I'd say after I had my first child, I started realizing, that I had to do something. And I didn't want my kids to experience what I went through growing up. So I decided that first things I needed to do was get my GED. And that's what led me down to Bates Technical College. Once I got my GED, I was hungry. I wasn't stopping there. I was going to do something big that my kids would look back and be proud on me. And follow in my steps. So I looked into the dental assisting program.
After all this, I decided that I needed to go to school to take ESL classes for my family and for me.
By participating in adult basic education programs in Pierce County, low literacy adults can greatly improve their lives, better support their families, and contribute to society in a meaningful way. With 80% of literacy programs reporting an overall reduction in welfare dependence among their students, the evidence is clear. We can make a difference, and we are making a difference.
Right now, my GPA is 3.7 and I am a full-time employee at Olive Garden. I started as a cook, and I think the skills that I have gained at First College helped me to obtain the position of assistant manager.
My grades started improving. I was holding down 3.8 for pretty much the whole time.
Sometimes people hear about immigrants and they have this impression like, oh, okay, they're like farmer workers or like, because that happened to me. Where are you from? I'm Mexican. Oh, okay, what do you want to do? Maybe a waitress, maybe a... And they didn't ask, well, do you have studies? What grades of your studies do you have? No. It's like, oh, a farmer or a waitress. You don't have any other. It's stereotypes.
Since I've graduated, my goal is to work in the field for about a year, dental assisting, so I can acquire some of the skills and things that they ask for me to be able to continue my education, which the next step will be dental hygienist. I hope that other people out there see this and realize, all it takes is one person to believe in you.
I see some improvement in myself, and it's all by the help of the staff here, the teachers, and I believe that any student can really, succeed.
Give new students, graduated students, opportunities. Sometimes the students don't have the experience that they're looking for, but we know that they can do it. We just have to open the doors for them. If you don't give them opportunities, they won't never get the experience.
I'm a survivor and I'm proud of it. And getting into the field of chemical dependency, I'm right where I'm supposed to be.
Education is it's phenomenal. It really is. It just, wow, it has changed my life entirely.
It's gave me confidence, and it's also just helped me to even be able to help my children with their homework. Because before I was like, oh, I can't do this, And I can. I know I can today.